Hello, Master Manifester. Today we're talking about probability perspectives, and we're going to throw some science on manifestation. So, I had this dream last night. I think I've probably been doing too much research, but I had this dream that I was a subatomic particle in non-physical state. So, if you're aware of the 2022 Nobel Prize, where they figured out that the universe is not locally real, let me give you just a quick understanding of what that means. It means that particles, when they are not solid matter, exist in a fuzzy state of probability. They could be anything. And until they're observed, which is interacted with by another particle or by light or by something like that, until they're observed, they don't exist in a definite physical state. So this means that the universe is not locally physical first. It is not physical first, which is what Einstein thought, that he got some things right, but not this. So also in that effect, when we think of things as terms of linear, like when I get my manifestation, well, in some way you already have it because it exists in the potential, but the probability is what makes it shine through in the reality. Because time is really like a ball of twine. It is not linear. It's all looped over itself in this thing called space-time, right? And depending on where your position is in space-time is what you're experiencing. Now, when you put all that together, it's huge. It's huge. And it's so amazing that this science has come through. Because I tell you what, if mystics had it back in the day, if, hermeticists had it back in the day, things would have been very different. But, we can still change it now. The story can still be fun. And it was cool then too. So talking about the particles and thinking about like our brains as a sort of quantum field, right? Our neurons act sort of like particles, right? They can root together, they can work together even from separate areas of the brain, right? And when you meditate, what you are doing is accessing that quantum field of yourself. But, and this is just theories, this is just, we haven't, these are theories that other scientists have come up with also, but being the amateur that I am here, these theories are based on like the most basic levels of it. I don't have the math for it. So I want you to understand that these are just ideas. Don't take them as science. This is just for entertainment, okay? But these give you some really cool ideas about meditation and what it means. So you have like the quantum tunneling, right? Where basically the particles will pass through where they're not supposed to. And they can behave in really erratic, unpredictable ways. And you never really know what they're going to do until you interact with them. They have a probability, but there's also lots of potential. And in this dream, I'm just like basically like this 0 point energy vibrating particle waiting to become potential. And it was really irritating. Basically 0, 0, 0 state energy. To me, it's like, the funny thing is about a particle is even at the lowest possible energy point of what it's doing, it is still vibrating, it is still active, it is still waiting to be something, even in its fuzzy state, right? And this is how our minds are. They're waiting to be something. They're like, what's next? What's next? So when you meditate, just try to keep this in mind, that you're moving yourself into what's next. You're constantly on a trajectory of a story that's moving forward, right? So when you consider your potential, your thoughts are story options. They're like, they show up out of this emergent soup. They're like emergent properties out of a quantum soup of your brain that showed up like particles solidifying, right? This is how all of reality works. It's all systems and programs. Systems and programs. That's what everything is. It might as well be, because that's what it acts like. So even if it's not, I'm just going to treat it like it is. So when you're dealing with systems and programs, and you're dealing with emergent properties of systems and programs, there are predictable factors, but you cannot control reality. This is very important to understand, because I don't want you beating yourself up for feeling like, oh, I'm not ruling every detail. You don't have enough data. You don't have enough access to yourself, and you probably will never have that deep of level access. This is why they say you can't see the face of God and live. I mean, it's because you can't be contained in this 3D form and see everything else that is. You have to focus yourself into this particular frame and make this story make sense. And you're going to have constant distractions. This is simply going to happen. We are automated systems. We make decisions before we even know there is a decision to be made. Our brains are fast, super fast, and our nervous systems are even faster. So the important thing is that when these thoughts emerge, understand that they are not your thoughts. You did not create them. They are offerings, suggestions, messages interpretations of sensation. And they can be either incorrect or misguided or frequency tuned to a particular state. So let's say I get a thought, I'm going to try to do this real time. Let me think of something I'm manifesting right now. Oh, okay, that one's good. Okay, so I'm manifesting actually some new shoes. I need some sneakers and I want to go jogging, and I cannot seem to find the perfect pair of sneakers, and it's driving me crazy because none of the shoes in the stores these days, I don't like the slip-ins, and the Skechers I used to wear out working. I'm not going to drive you crazy with this. My shoe drama, that's crazy. But, I really struggled to find this right pair of shoes that's going to be really comfortable and not cause problems with my feet. Sometimes I get problems with my feet, right? I'll get like build up or, have to do bunions or whatever. And I wanted something that wasn't going to scrape my feet up or cause too much pressure, cause problems on my back. So I can be really particular about my shoes. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about because I walk a lot and I want to take up running. So right now I'm manifesting perfect pair of shoes. And sort of what my brain almost automatically does is, really? Is this important? I'm like, yeah, it's important. I don't even explain myself to my brain. No, this is important. I've told you what I want, and I'm waiting for you to give it. So, I'm just going to do something else while you get this ready for me. Basically, my brain, my system, and everything will do everything for me. Everything happens in the unconscious. So I talk to the unconscious. I explain what I want, what I'm experiencing, and what kind of story. And sometimes it'll come back with a lot of chaotic fight or flight stuff. It's like, oh, you'll never find the right pair of shoes. I'm like, no, that thought simply won't satisfy. I mean, I see you thought, but obviously the perfect pair of shoes exists, and obviously I can have it. And when it shows up, it's going to be the right color, the right size, the right shape. You see how I'm training my thoughts to give me the story I want. I don't fight it hard. I'm like, no, get out of here. You put more pressure on the thing and make it more real when you fight it with emotion. When you fight it with logic, you're like, nah, yeah, I see you emotion, but this interpretation isn't right. This is important. Practicing feeling that emotion and checking what interpretation your mind automatically makes of it. This is one of the biggest things, especially around the things that you're trying to manifest that are new. Some things are like really easy to manifest because you're already kind of tuned for it. You're already sort of in the program for that kind of story. And it's like smooth sailing. Like, I will probably find these shoes within the next couple of days. And I've been looking for a week, but whatever. And I'm not really worried about how long that week is. Was it really a week? Who knows? My brain decided that it's been a week. Maybe it's been 5 minutes since I wanted the shoes, right? Because your brain's like that. It'll just immediately skip ahead and be like, where is it? Because it's a reward prediction error. But when these thoughts come up, no matter what they are, sit with the emotion, recognize the emotion is valid, but check the interpretation your thoughts are making. And if they're not making the interpretations that are aligned with your intentions and with what you want to desire to experience in reality, be like, hey, send that back, bring me what I ordered, and be more clear about what kind of thoughts you want. My thoughts are so good sometimes, like they freak me out. I'm like, how? Wow, I feel amazing. You can train your thoughts to do that, but you got to feel calm, you got to feel safe in your body, and you got to be really accepting. You got to be really accepting of anything you see that makes you kind of knee-jerk reaction. Oh, that's not me. Then look at it harder because you're everything. You're everything. And that's something trying to hide in your shadow. You can pull it closer and hug it. Even if it looks freaky, it's okay. It's okay. It's just a baby. It's just trying to figure itself out. It's just a system. You can reprogram those things. So I hope this has helped you to understand a little bit more about probability and some of the quantum science around manifestation, some of my theories about what's going on. I always come up with these theories, but sometimes there's no way really to test them. Now, in some cases, I do have some testing going on. So sign up for the newsletter below if you're interested in like co-creating or testing your manifestation skills or joining one of my beta testing groups. So sign up, and thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.